Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching Shadowhunters Season 4 Episode 19. I'm not going to try and pronounce the title because I will pronounce it wrong. Shadowhunters is back. I love it. I can't wait to watch this episode. I'm terrified though because Team Evil has risen. Jace is going to be very stressed for Clary, and I thought I'm going to be very stressed. I'm also very stressed for Clary. So yeah, I cannot wait for this episode. It's been a long time coming. I think this plotline kind of reaching the point somewhere along the lines of in the book. If it goes like the book, I assume Jace is going to end up with them so that he can try and protect Clary from Jonathan and from herself while she's not herself. That all makes sense because that's what Clary did for Jace. I'm very stressed. Let's go.
My boy.
What a coincidence, Magnus! I mean, I don't know why he'd actually think those two things were linked, but you could hope.
There's a price.
Not this time.
That's suspicious in itself. Of course, there's a price.
I haven't felt the pain of losing you.
Then why, when he came to ask you to help him save Jace, would you have demanded a terrible price? I know parents are tricky, but Magnus has had centuries to figure out that he shouldn't trust his father. You can do this, Magnus.
Too late.
Thank you.
You okay?
I will be when we get Clary back.
What about you?
I'm fine.
It will be fine, Alec, okay?
It will if they come to me.
Clary still loves him.
I would die for you.
Jonathan, this is very clearly not the same sister that you were talking to last week. Yesterday.
I'm in love with Jace.
That did not
I can't live
change.
without him either.
I love you more than anything in this world.
I'm very scared for Jace going with them because in the books, because Jonathan and Jace were linked, Jonathan cared about Jace and would, like, not hurt him more than he had to because Jonathan was horrible. And Clary was his sister, so when she came along, he wanted to believe that she loved him. But in this scenario, he, other than wanting to make Clary happy, has no reason to be nice to Jace, and that stresses me out.
So about last night.
Just like when your best friend is literally gone. But they have nothing else to do, so why not? Is this show going to do like a High School Musical-esque thing where they almost kiss repeatedly? This is the second time that Alec have broken up, and then we've had an episode full of flashbacks of scenes we never saw of them before. This is very cute though.
Oh, you want to lock it? I know it's silly. I wanted us to have a lock too.
It's very silly. I mean, it's very not silly. It's very romantic and sweet and perfect, actually, Alec.
Cinta Kamu.
I would not pronounce it like that. I'm going to try.
Indonesian for I love you.
Aww. This is really lovely. Did Bat survived, right? Because he was working that night.
In order for these rings to work,
Like the books.
Do you think I'm gonna fall asleep?
But it depends how long you're there for, doesn't it?
stranger things have happened.
Yeah. Hey, Magnus the other day, but
Jace is such a good brother.
why didn't you propose?
Such a good parabatai.
There's something you're not telling me.
Jace is such a good brother and parabatai. I can't cope with how much I love him.
Sometimes life.
And Alec is being a really good brother right now, and I know that it's because he doesn't want to talk about it, but actually right now there isn't time for them to talk about this. We need to get Clary back, and then there will be time for them to talk about this if Alec and Magnus haven't sorted it all out by themselves.
Sever the ties between him and Clary.
To reforge Glorious, she said you need to mix the alloys that you extracted with.
I'm very stressed thinking about how this goes in the book with the sword.
Will this involve a needle?
You're a vampire. I'm stressed.
So if that means I have to give up on everything I love to keep you safe.
You're willing to put up with me as a third wheel.
I would never allow.
I mean, Jonathan,
I know this isn't a trick.
I know he's like a crazy person, but
In your heart.
oh, how could he ever think this was really Clary?
Truth, or you don't. More concerned. You know better than this.
I also know how to make my own decisions.
Well, there's so much happening here, like so many layers, and
Fine
I'm
with this.
because Clary says love is true no matter what, but at the same time, Clary's not Clary, and I'm stressed. Magnus, you'll be back with him, I hope this episode, if not next episode, because otherwise it's just such a waste of everyone's time, because you're obviously meant to be together and going to be together. Probably very pretty.
Did Daddy not teach you that?
Oh, there's just this dynamic.
On a need-to-know basis.
Stresses me out to no
I know
end.
you're here to get rid of me, brother. And the second you slip, I'll prove it. And then it'll just be me and Clary, the way it's meant to be.
Jonathan, that is a creepy reaction to have.
We are going to kidnap the Sealy Queen.
Sounds like a really fun time. I can't wait. Because this is another plotline that I'm really invested in, but I can't cope with right now because there's too much happening with the main plotline. Like, I want to hear all about Raphael's rediscovery of Cronuts, but Well, actually, discovering pronouns, they didn't exist before.
The fact that older trade.
How big? That's big.
Lois Lane.
See, at least this
And
cute
you're
sizziness
gonna
is
reverse
related to the
the
main
creation
plotline.
To turn, we always go on about how great these superhero
So
movies
cute.
are, so I wanted to see what the fuss was about.
What you think? Just that the geeky guy is totally awesome. If she just saw him.
Simon's dream of his entire life, and it's actually coming true. How amazing.
Lois just needed some time to see what was right in front of her.
Did she know, is he?
Done?
Jonathan,
We're here.
if you've agreed to let Clary have her boyfriend, you cannot complain if they kiss a little bit.
I'm watching you.
Just
Just
too
give him
much.
time. Once he trusts you, he's like a puppy. All he wants is love.
Kind of true. A very terrifying, creepy puppy.
And all I want is you.
You're not going to break through like this, Jace. Just...
Please come back to me.
Jace, be careful.
I love you so much.
Oh, Clace. I think a part of him was hoping that a kiss would break the spell.
I have to go help my brother sweet talk us inside.
Oh, Jace, it was worth a try. Is he going to figure out with these memories that Alec wouldn't have just suddenly, 2 seconds later, broken up with him? Or was this him remembering and figuring it out? That was a very weird zooming in shot. It was very weird seeing the way that the music like cut out and everything halfway through to be dramatic. Jem, hey Jem. Sorry, hello brother Zachariah.
I need you to erase all my memories of Alec.
Seriously? Actually wait, no, has that happened in this show before? I was about to be like, seriously, are we doing this again? I don't think that that's the same show, so I'm sorry Magnus, I take it back.
Help me.
Magnus, I know that like
No.
Alec is one of the stronger loves he's had, he's not the strongest. But you've been through breakups and heartbreaks before, that you would know you're going to get through this. You could do it because you literally made a potion that made Jace forget he loved Clary. You could do the same thing for you and Alec if you really wanted to.
It's breaking me.
But you will get through it. I mean, you won't have to get through it. But in like 80 years when Alec dies, you will get through it. I'm not going to think about that too much because it's too sad. But this time around, you're going to be fine.
Interruptions, but they insist.
I'm glad this Shadowhunters still around, I can't remember her name.
So there is some left.
Yes, after the extraction for the sword for Clary, there's only one.
Why should you get special treatment? Because you know Shadowhunters.
Unfortunately,
There'll be a lot of people that want that serum.
I don't understand.
I mean,
Why did
part of
you
me is
have to destroy
100%
all of
pro,
us? Is that
like,
really the only option? You
give it to
brought every
Maya,
downroad
but
of a second
also-
chance at a
I get wanting to go back.
Yeah, Simon doesn't want to be a vampire, does he? Maya, that reaction is a little extreme, given that, like, you still have a life where you're yourself. If there's one vial of serum, you can't give it to anybody because that isn't fair.
I told you he'd be an asset.
This is a whole new type of stress for Jace. I'm used to being stressed because he's the one possessed. Or controlled, or, you know, however you phrase what's wrong with Clary.
The 3 of us away. The 4 of us, including the Queen. Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, that's totally what you meant, Jonathan. Oh my god, this is the drugs. I forgot about this part of the book. Harry has a mission.
Are you worried about everyone? Or just you?
Just him and Clary? And any innocent people. Jace! I know you're trying to prove yourself, but literally, it would be good if you could have stayed sane. Maybe let Alec know that you're taking crazy drugs. I mean, in the books, they accidentally take drugs, I think. Jace.
Alec, I need help.
Jace, what's going on? I need you to focus.
Jace, sweetheart.
Just a silly hallucination.
At least if they could just spend some time dancing, Jace will be having a nice time while he's high on drugs. Peer pressure, Jace. This is where you don't give in to it. This is just all kinds of weird and messed up. And I love them so much, but then, like, they're both high on drugs and Clary's extra not herself. I mean, Clary would have no problems with being with Jace, like, regardless of being out of her mind or not, because she loves him. But this... Oh no, Jace, you're not alert, and Jonathan's seen the ring. But then... Oh... So it looks like the drugs don't affect everyone. Jordan, don't do something stupid, okay? Like, if you try and steal the vial or something. Oh my god, you've already stolen the vial. I get that his driving force is to prove to Maya that he's to fix his mistake, to save Maya. And I wish Maya could have the cure because it's what she wants, but I wish Simon could have the cure. I wish everyone who wants the cure could have the cure, and they can't. There's only one vial. Stopping Jonathan and, you know, Clary isn't herself is more important. I love Izzy so much. Simon, you can see the sword once she's like been amazing and got it. That's very cool. I feel sick. I'm so stressed. Oh my gosh.
Why are they going after Jace?
To foil our plan.
What's Clary gonna do in this scenario?
Get our family sword.
Probably Jonathan's plan all along.
Me or Jace?
I mean, under the rune, probably Jonathan, but I hope she's at least gonna feel bad about it. Oh, she loves him so much! I actually wasn't 100% expecting that. I mean, I knew that under normal circumstances, Clary would have been in there fighting and millisecond Jace was in danger. But under the rune circumstances, I was worried that she would be swayed completely by Jonathan, but her love for Jace is so strong and I'm freaking out. I love Clays so much. Ooh, what's that bite gonna do? Oh god, what's that bite gonna do? Oh gosh.
I'm trying to save you.
Oh god.
This isn't who you are, Clary. Come home with me.
Oh god.
This is who I am.
She still saved him first.
And take me from my brother again, I will end you.
That plan did not work. At least she sent him home because she loves him. Oh, Jace. Can I hug him, please? Can someone hug him, please? Look at that face. That face needs a hug. And I can't do it. Well, you didn't lose, so you're going to get it back, okay? But please, is he finally going to figure out that Alec didn't really break up with him because he doesn't want to be with him?
Leave me alone. I'm here for you, my son.
Don't fall for it, Magnus. I know you're in a lot of pain, but why would Alec suddenly out of the blue break up with you just when things got a bit hard? So things have never been hard before. Okay, that was a really traumatic episode. It was really, really good. I'm going to quickly just get through the parts of the plotline that I'm not as invested in, which is largely Malec's breakup. And that isn't because I don't feel for the characters, because I do. I feel for Magnus. But this was the second episode we've had where Malec had broken up and Magnus spends the entire episode wandering around, remembering the good times that we'd never seen before. And there was a lot of other stuff going on. There was even some I wouldn't have minded so much, seeing more of Maya struggling over the cure and everything. Maybe even Simon suddenly hitting him after they spoke to Maya that he was never going to get to have this cure either, and that it was something that was right there and he could take it. But instead we got another episode of a couple that are obviously going to get back together. You know, if I thought there was actually a chance Malec were broken up for good, I would be crying my eyes out and devastated. Like that. Don't get me wrong, part of the reason why I'm struggling to feel that it justified the screen time it did was because obviously they're going to get back together. I was hoping it would happen in this episode, that Magnus would use his wonderful, brilliant brain to realise that there was something a bit fishy and at least go and talk to Alec and try and figure out what's going on. If anything, I'm hoping that Alec will tell Jace or Izzy or someone and then they'll go and tell Magnus. I know in the book when Malec had broken up because Alec made a terrible, terrible mistake, it's Alec's siblings, Jace, Izzy, who aren't as close to Magnus in the books sort of at that point as they are in the show, they go to see Magnus and they go and they say to him, look, Alec is falling apart, he made a mistake, he's an idiot, but he loves you. And they're sort of the people, if I'm remembering it rightly, that help put them back together, so I wouldn't mind something like that happening. I found for me as well particularly jarring was seeing Jace, like, I've lost her, you know, the girl he loves, the woman he loves, isn't herself. It's not just that Clary broke up with him. Clary is, and because she kind of still loves him, it's because Clary doesn't exist. The girl he loves doesn't exist. Clary, the person that she is, the wonderful, amazing hero that she is, no longer exists. She has lost her mind and her free will because Clary would never do the things that Clary is doing right now. And that is gut-wrenchingly heartbreaking. And again, I know that like that is going to be fun. Clary will be saved at the end of the show. But it's the plot of that, and this hasn't happened before with Clary, and I'm just really stressed. Oh, that whole episode, like the fact that under Jonathan's sway, Clary still loves Jace, but that was never going to be good. Anyway, Maya and Jordan. I hate that Jordan took the vial. It's so selfish, and I completely understand it from his character point of view. You know, his driving focus is that he was awful, with that he couldn't deal with his werewolf rage. Maya broke up with him. He turned into a werewolf and left her there, and now he's stolen her future and all her dreams that made her who she was. And she's still who she was, but she's just a different version. And he hates himself for that. And I get that. I understand that that is Jordan's driving focus. But he's also seen that Maya is making a future. She's forging ahead. She was doing okay with it. And I know she wants the cure. But if anything, if you leave the Shadowhunters with that vial, maybe they could find a way to make more of it. I mean, you don't know. You don't know everything about Shadowhunter science. No one does. Izzy would figure it out, I'm sure. But the concept that Maya would deserve it over anyone else. Now, I wish we could give it to Maya, I wish we could give it to Simon, I wish it could be like any downloader that wants to come and take the cure and be saved, but at the same time, you know, it is true, if that was the case, if they didn't need that vial, if it was just, oh, whoever gets there first, Simon would have already taken it. So I don't agree with Jordan taking it, and I don't think Maya will either, and I'm intrigued to see what's going to come of that, especially, you know, this whole plotline with Jordan is entirely alien to the books. It's not what happens with Jordan in the books at all, so I'm intrigued. I've been trying to rack my brains to see if I'm missing any other parts of the episode that were important. Asmodeus can die. I really, really hope he dies. I know that he's a greater demon and that doesn't happen, but you know, he can die. Magnus will see through him, I hope. Next episode, at least. Well, the next one was going to be the season finale, wasn't it? So I imagine they will get Malak back together in that. Ready for the 2-part finale. The two things weren't linked, but I don't think they would leave Malik broken up over the hiatus. So I hope next episode we're gonna do the whole, I mean, they've got Glorious, you know, the Heavenly Sword, and I know, I'm not going to spoil anything from the books, I know in the books what happens with the sword and the rune and the linking and everything, and so I'm very intrigued to see if that exact sort of scenario is going to happen. The only difference will be that Jace is going to be on the other side of it and Clary is on the other side of it. But yeah, that whole Jace is such a good parabatai to Alec because he just loves him so much. And I remember since season 1, there have been so many people claiming that Jace is a terrible parabatai, and I honestly think we are watching different television programmes. But just, even though Clary was missing, even though he was about to go and try and desperately save her, and she wasn't just missing, but she wasn't herself anymore, and it was a month, if that, since he found out she wasn't dead, he still knows something's wrong with Alec and still wants to get through to Alec and talk about it with Alec, and I love that so much about their relationship. And then the whole time that Clary she loves Jace so much, and Jonathan is obviously suspicious. Now I knew it was different, and like I've said before, in the books Jonathan cares about Jace because Jace is under the rune and Jace does whatever he says basically. You know, I think on putting in the books Jace kills someone, but it's because Jonathan sent him there and on a mission and you're going to kill that person. And you know, it's entirely not Jace's choice. Jace didn't have any free will. Clary has a little bit more free will in the books. Clary's got all of her free will in the books. And Clary's a little bit more free will in this because she's able to disregard Jonathan to speak against Jonathan. But I think that's good because if Jonathan gets any creepy incest ideas, Clary can say no. But I just, their connection is so beautiful. And then the way that Jace desperately hoped that, you know, true love's kiss would work and would save her, and it's the same thing that Magnus tried when Alec was dying after trying to reach out to Jason, the Parabatai Lost episode. You have to try it, and for a moment he thought it would work, but it was just Clary being emotional because she loved him too. And then just, I know that Jace like took the drug because he was trying to, you've got to blend in, you know, it's kind of like why undercover cops sometimes get hooked to drugs because sometimes you just have to take them. But I do think he kind of succumbed to peer pressure there, so I think that, you know, they need to show him a little video about how it's okay to say no, don't give in to your peers. But that whole moment with Clace, like, they love each other. And then, yeah, Jonathan having his proof that he had the CD ring, and that Clary, even though, you know, she had the full force of Jonathan's will bearing down on her through the rune, Jonathan wants you to disregard Jace, Jonathan wants you to ditch Jace and run, she still just jumped in there, threw him the sword and fought with him. And then, of course, she was unimpressed that he had the CD ring, but, you know, Jonathan would like it to be, he had the CD ring, bang, he's dead, he was betraying us, whereas Clary was kind of like, if you try to press again, I'll kill you. And I think she might, well, try that. But I like that Clary is still conflicted, that because their love is true regardless of anything, and in the books Jace still loves Clary. So I love it so much. Like, I love love, and I love Clace's love, and just the way that even though Clary isn't herself, even though she's more or less, you know, on Jonathan, whatever Jonathan's plan is, she's cool with it. Her love for Jace is still so strong, and so then Jonathan's going to be very scared of that going forwards, as he was in this episode. And just Jace's heartbreak, because he's going to think he failed, he wasn't good enough. He did everything he could, and they have the sword now, they can fix this, and I'm very, very stressed. It's again like just one little thing. I feel like the main plotline right now is Jonathan and Clary. And for the second episode in a row at least, we ended on Asmodeus. And I love Magnus, and I want Magnus to have all the plots, but currently Magnus has been taken out of the relevant main plot, and I kind of wish that he was running around trying to help in the main plot, and maybe the final scene should have been, in this case, maybe the one where Jace was like, we lost her, but if anything it probably should have been a scene with Clary and Jonathan, where, you know, they discuss the fact that Clary just I guess what happened. They've got the Seelie Queen, maybe they're both looking at the Seelie Queen, and is there going to be tension between Jason and Clary? Is there going to be tension between Jonathan and Clary going forwards because she wanted to trust Jace, he didn't, he tried to get Jace killed, like, in that kind of sense, is there going to be some sort of tension? And that's what I'd have liked to see as the final scene, because it's the driving plotline. It would have been weird if we'd ended on Jordan holding the vial of Heavenly Fire too. So yeah, I love the episode so much. I'm really sad to think how little Shadowhunters is left to us. If this show deserves 10 more seasons. And anyone who says that it doesn't because they're catching up with the books, they're doing their own thing. And the whole Owl plotline was entirely new from the books. This stuff with the cure for Downworlders, entirely new from the books. They could do whatever they wanted in all those seasons. But yeah, this show, I love it so much. Thank you for watching.